David has painted the city in broad strokes, violence in the streets, and deceit running through every ordinary transaction. The view narrows, the frame tightens on the subject. This public betrayal becomes personal. The enemy David fears most is not a stranger. For it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me, that did magnify himself against me, then I would have hid myself from him. Psalm 55, verse 12. David opens with a contrast. An enemy's attack carries its own kind of pain, but it offers no surprise. When someone who has declared himself your opponent strikes, you absorb the blow and move on. You know where he stands. David says he could have borne it. He is not minimizing what his enemies do. He is establishing a baseline so that what follows lands with full force. The second half of the verse adds another layer. Someone who hates you and makes himself great at your expense is at least honest about his hostility. You see him coming and hide. Any relationship is already broken. David strips away every lesser grief to make room for the one that broke him. But it was thou, a man mine equal, my guide, and mine acquaintance. Psalm 55, verse 13. Now the face appears. A man mine equal, this is someone who stood at the same level and walked the same ground. Not someone beneath David, looking up with envy, but an equal. My guide refers to one who was intimate, someone whose counsel David received and trusted. This is someone whose voice shaped David's thinking. The expression, mine acquaintance, means one who is known. We took sweet counsel together and walked unto the house of God in company. Psalm 55, verse 14. This verse does not soften the blow, rather, it sharpens it. Sweet counsel is the language of genuine friendship, of conversations that fed the soul, where two men talked and both left stronger. They did not just exchange information, they shared something. And they walked to the house of God together. Worship was part of what bound them. They stood before the Lord, side by side. Their friendship had a sacred dimension. The betrayer was not someone who stood outside the covenant community and looked in. He walked inside the house of God, prayed and sang the songs. He stood where the righteous stand and used that position as a cover. Judas Iscariot fits this portrait. He sat at the table, heard the teachings of Jesus, and walked with the Son of God. But then Judas sold him for 30 pieces of silver. Let death seize upon them, and let them go down quick into hell. For wickedness is in their dwellings and among them. Psalm 55, verse 15. The prayer is sharp and without apology. David asks that judgment come, that it overtakes his enemies before they can arrange an escape. The phrase, go down quick into hell, echoes Numbers 16, verses 30 to 33, where Korah and his company went down alive into the pit. The ground opened and swallowed them whole. That was divine judgment, made visible and immediate. The reason David gives is not personal offense. Wickedness is in their dwellings and among them. Their homes are corrupt, and wickedness has settled in their hearts.